Hello, my fellow strangers. I hope you are all doing well. I think Launa's video, she talked about moments in our lives where there was like this distinct before and after. A great reference to Looking for Alaska there. As with most of us who have addressed this question, I have a few. One of them is definitely relationship related. I dated someone starting in high school up through I was in college at the time, so we were together for almost 4.5 years. I don't know, I don't really remember anymore. We were together for a long time. We weren't destined to be together or anything. We were actually like a terrible couple, but I was naive and thought I was in love and whatever. But anyways, he cheated, and it wasn't necessarily the first time, but this was just like, there were a lot of other circumstances, but not being with him, there was like this clear sort of, I feel like my life was on a certain path at that point, and even though I was attending college and things while I was with him, I was not the best student or anything like that. And considering my goal had always been to go to graduate school and to get my doctorate and things like that, even when I was in high school, those plans were kind of being derailed by being with him. So in a lot of ways, even though there was a lot of heartbreak at the time and whatever, it really helped to lead me in the direction of being on the path that I'm on now. And I don't think that I would have accomplished all of my educational goals or anything like that had I stayed with him, if I'm being completely honest. I think another one for me is when my grandmother died when I think it was like the summer before 6th grade for me. I was maybe like, I think it was 11 at the time. And before that, no one close to me had ever passed away. And so I think that her passing definitely had this, like, before in a sort of carefree, no bad can be in the world sort of attitude for me. And then sort of, I didn't go like all nihilistic or anything after she passed away, but it was definitely eye-opening, sort of the frailty of life and just sort of the uncertainty of it. And so I think that definitely affected me in some pretty heavy ways. And I think the third one for me that marks a clear and distinct before and after, it was February 14th, 2008. I was an undergraduate student at Northern Illinois University, and we had a school shooting there, and I was not in the classroom or anything like that. And I'm not going to go into like major detail in this video about that. I actually made a video on the 10-year anniversary, which was this past year, explaining sort of my experience, and I can link that down below if any of you are interested in knowing about that. But that day, being in such a sort of precarious and uncertain kind of position definitely influenced the way that I see the world in a lot of different ways. And I explain a lot more about that in, like I said, the other video that I made on my personal channel, which I won't rehash here, but going through an experience like that has a very distinct kind of effect on your ability to sort of interact with the world and things like that. So anyways, so that day too was, was pretty traumatic, and still sort of, it still very much affects me. And so there's definitely a very distinct before and after, because the before, I never really questioned my safety or anything like that being out in public, and now I constantly question. It's unlikely that I would ever find myself in a situation like that again, like statistically speaking, but just sort of the chaos of it all, like you just never know. And so that's definitely affected my psyche in a very not so great way. But anyways, I thought that question was really compelling, this idea of the before and after, like distinct before and afters. And so those were like 3 things that came to mind when that came up in her video. Probably for the most part just end it there. I will say I apologize. I know I haven't been super active on the chat, but I'm going to be honest, I'm kind of a purist, and because this is sort of modeling Brotherhood 2.0 / Vlogbrothers in the early days, they sort of minimized their communication outside of video, and I just think it's kind of cool and thought it'd be sort of interesting to sort of be pure with that. I don't know. So anyways, that's partially the reason I haven't been chatting a whole lot in the chat, because I like this interaction. But don't worry, I'm still creeping on you guys and I read everything eventually. I just don't respond unless it seems pertinent or just to check in and be like, I'm alive. But other than that, I know I haven't been chatting there much, but again, like I said, I'm being a little bit purist since we're sort of emulating sort of the Vlogbrothers style. I don't know. It's a thing. If you guys would prefer that I chat more in the group chat, just let me know down below. I suppose with that, I will say until next Monday, my fellow strangers, because I will see you then.